Ben, what do you want to know about spree killers in Singapore?
Well, let's dig up the past.
Okay.
Let's dig up the past and hear once more the chilling stories of Mr. Sek Kim Wah. You heard of that name?
We are talking about the Andrew Road triple murders of 1983.
Just a quick one. Do you know that? Have you been to Andrew Road?
I have.
Have you seen the houses there?
A lot of GCVs.
Yeah, it's $22 million a piece today. How would you like to own a piece of that?
You know what they say, right? You know, Chinese were all quite superstitious. You know, oh, don't go and buy a property that has someone died in, right? I said, hey, you know what? If depends. I mean, if it's $22 million, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it for $22 million, but you know, cut me a good deal. I'm happy to live. There, I
think Singaporeans are very practical. You know, in fact, they'll look out for those that are haunted, that had someone who died in it, ask for a huge discount.
Yeah, but
okay. Anyway,
so I mean, you know, we laugh, but it's really no laughing matter. The triple murders of Andrew Road. So we've got to bring you back almost 42 years now. 42 years now.
This is 1980
to 1983. And very different Singapore, of course, back then. But this is a tale really quite sad. You have, I always say, in any kind of criminal case, you have lots of human stories that intersect with each other. And this one really has some of the saddest stories I've heard. But let's delve right into this. So what happened in 1983? On the morning of July 23rd, 1983, two men, Sek Kin Wah and New Kok Ming, broke into a house along Andrew Road. Sek Kin Wah knew what he wanted to do. He had previously worked in this house before as a gardener on day release from the Singapore Boys' Home where he was serving a sentence. And that's how he got to know the owner of the house, Mr. Robert Tay. So what happened was this. On the morning of July 23rd, 1983, okay, a 10-year-old girl, Dawn Tay, she was roller skating in the porch of her house along Andrew Road, and she was waiting for her tutor, Madam Tang, a Chinese tutor, to arrive to give her lessons. When Madam Tang arrived, what happened? She was set upon by these two men, Sek Kin Wah and New Kok Ming, and they confronted her and also the Filipino maid, Jovita Virador, who was also there, and brought them into the house. Sek, who was then armed with a rifle that he had stolen from Nee Soon Camp where he was going through army training at Safti. He went into the bedroom, pointed the weapon at Dawn's mother, Mrs. Ann Tay, and said, "Where's Robert? Where is her husband?" So what happens that Mr. Tay heard this all, he was in the back garden, he was called back into the house by his daughter. New then stood guard over the girl and Madam Tang and Mother Annie, and they were all told to lie on the floor of the bedroom. And what happened after that was they tied them all up with raffia string. So after Sek had taken some of Mrs. Tay's jewelry, his accomplice New said, we should just leave. But Sek wasn't ready to go. So he demanded that they write him a check for $5,000, which they did. And he brought the father to the bank to cash in the check. So of the two, Sek was obviously the ringleader and New was along for the ride. So what happened was that after they had taken the jewelry from the mother, it wasn't enough. Sek said, "I want more money." He forced the parents to write him a check for $5,000, and then he told New to look after and keep guard over all of these hostages while he went out to cash in the money, which he did. He was very successful. He went to the bank, he cashed in, he got $5,000. He came back, it wasn't enough. So Sek then demanded that Robert Tay, the father, accompany him to the bank, where he withdrew another $7,000. So right now we've got, they had $13,000 worth of loot, which, to be fair, in 1983 was a lot of money, but that wasn't enough. So what happened was this. When Sek reappeared, he appeared angry when he returned. He told New that he had got between $4,000 and $5,000. Before leaving the house, Sek told New that if he'd not returned by 12:30 p.m., kill all of them. So already we get this sense of, Sek Kin Wah as he's not just an ordinary armed robber. He's out for blood. He is cold-blooded. He's a cold-blooded killer. So when Sek and Mr. Tay had left, his accomplice New untied all of the hostages that he had, the two women and the girl, and then told them, "You know what? We're not gonna hurt you. We're not gonna do anything to you as long as you don't report it to the police." So it's quite interesting. So now you already have this differential between these two men. One is obviously he's had it in his head, we've got to kill them all already. And the other one doesn't even know that this is happening. And it's still sort of, he's just there for the money, he doesn't want to hurt anybody. And this is what he said. When I told her that this was the first time I had committed a robbery and did not intend to harm them, the mother told the daughter to shake hands with me, probably to seal the promise that I would not harm them. I mean, this is already, it brings you into this whole human drama where it's just the money. He is a robber, yes, he's an armed robber, so we can't cut him so much slack, but the truth is he's not out for blood, But unfortunately, as we see, when Sek returns, the entire plan goes awry. Because Sek returns, he gets paranoid that all of these people are going to be able to recognize him. So what he does is that he takes the father, Robert Tay, and the mother, Ann Tay, into a room and bludgeons them to death with a wooden stool. I mean, that is as cold-blooded as you can think of. He then proceeds to strangle the maid, Jovita Virador. At all of this, when New sees that happening, he gets scared and in a way almost becomes a protector because he has the gun with him, he has the rifle with him, and he backs off into a room with the two surviving hostages, Madame Tang, the Chinese tutor, and Dawn Tay, the daughter, and he locks the room and he barricades himself and he tells Sek, you're not coming in. You're not coming in to finish the deal and kill all of them. And thank God, because later on during the court case, Sek admitted that he was going to come in and kill all three of them. So, New also protected his own life, basically, when you think of that. So he actually eventually manages to talk Sek down. Sek runs off in Robert Tay's Mercedes with all of the loot. New then, I guess, seemingly overcome with regret and guilt, lets the two women go, gives them his Malaysian IC card so you can find me later, draws a map to Sek's location, to Sek's house, and tells them, please go find help. He then locks himself back in the room and attempts to kill himself with the M16 that was stolen from Newsom camp. He is not successful. After 2 times, he clicks it once, it doesn't happen. He cocks it, a bullet falls out, he tries again, doesn't happen, doesn't work for him. So he runs off. He actually goes to meet Sek later that day to divide the loot, which is kind of hilarious because, at first you're overwhelmed with guilt and you're overwhelmed and this guy, we later find out is about to kill you. They still manage to split the loot and then he runs off to Malaysia. Okay. So the long and the short of it is, Sek is found pretty soon because of all the clues that that New left. He is taken up 6 days after the killing, where the police then find out, because he admits to it, that he is also responsible for 2 earlier killings that happened a month before in East Coast Park. A man and a woman both strangled to death as well. New runs off to Malaysia, but because of the close working relationship between Singapore and the Malaysian police, they send out a massive manhunt. The Malaysian police made appeals in the mass media, including RTM. They flashed a picture of the suspect on television. And eventually, New finds out, comes out, surrenders to the police there, and is extradited back to Singapore. When all this is done, Sek is given the death penalty. New is given life imprisonment, which was, at that point in time, 20 years. So he was paroled sometime in the 90s, and no one knows what has happened to him since. So he's disappeared off the face of history since then.